This bud's for you. The Illinois Liquor Control Commission recently approved the Brickhouse Tavern outside the walls of Wrigley Field. So this is very, very important point. To use an exception to the Prohibition era law that outlaws brewers advertising in tavern names. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes
Budweiser Brickhouse Tavern. Hickory Street Capital, an investment arm of the low energy Cubs owners, you guys would agree, low energy, again seems to have bullied the local politicians to make another grab of the cash. Seems like there's a theme this week.
Yeah.
A grab of the cash in Wrigleyville. Why didn't local Alderman Tom Tunney do something to save the innocent Lakeview bro from being subjected to more unnecessary AB InBev advertising? And I want to start with you just to give a little background on this. What's going on here? What happened?
I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I mean,
what happened?
Are you doing that because you know I didn't do any research into it?
No. Fair and balanced, right?
Sure, yeah.
So
Yeah,
just
AB,
explain what happened.
No, I think if you're asking me what happened is that, as part of the 10-year Wrigley plan, the Ricketts and the Cubs organization are redoing the area around Wrigley. So you got now Park Plaza, the parking plaza at Wrigley, which is
they turned the Triangle property
exactly.
into some other things. The Cubs own some land around Wrigley Field, but it's not within the walls of Wrigley Field.
Yeah, but they're remodeling all that. It's not, and I wanted to come back to that. It's not within the walls, but that land belongs to Wrigley. Right? So I mean, I'm just saying that land, Wrigley has this aura, and it extends down to Clark Street. So this Brickhouse Tavern is part of a new complex. I think that's where their offices are at in locker room, right? And there's a couple of tchotchke stores too, merch. People like you, this morning you look like you went to the Packers merch store. There's a Cubs
these are all homemade.
So I think I don't think there's anything this guy could have done. Looking, this restaurant is owned by the Four Corners.
Okay, well, before you get to your opinion, so we've now set the stage, right?
Yeah.
That there's this bar,
entertainment facility, if you will.
The Cubs have decided to accept an advertising agreement with Budweiser, which is illegal according to the City of Chicago rules. Mm-hmm. From what is it, like the late 1800s, early 1900s? Or something.
I would say it's Prohibition.
Prohibition, 1920s.
Yeah, and but what was really interesting about this, and I'm sure you did your research to see that it was a backroom deal in plain sight.
Disgusting.
So with that, why did Tom Tunney not do something to save the innocent Lakeview bro from being subjected to more unnecessary AB InBev advertising?
I think he probably wanted to, but he couldn't get down to City Hall because his pockets were too stuffed with cash to be able to walk down to the government building to protest this. He was too exhausted from having to carry around all of that additional money. I mean, pure and simple, you can't look at that and be like, this isn't super weird that this is happening.
Did you read about what happened?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And, having it be split, having the commissioner go out of the room, come back into the room, and then having it be unanimous, I mean, come on, something funky happened. And
you think Tim Cook was involved?
I think Tim Cook is always involved. If anyone is grabbing cash, Tim Cook has got his long apple fingers reaching in there. He's going apple picking. Apple watch. Yeah, he's just a vacuum cleaner.
It's an attachment.
Yeah. And to talk about this, the aura of Wrigley, right, that extends out. The aura doesn't necessarily extend past the laws of the state. And to say that, they're tearing down a lot of stuff, right? They're getting rid of that Taco Bell, which is a shame. Because
it should be a museum, right?
Right, at this point. I mean, how many Taco Bells are we going to be left with in this city? That's another question on another day. I want to know.
Okay.
There's one next to Menards.
There's two.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there's going to be two left.
There's one in the Daily Center.
Yeah.
Thompson Center.
That's nice. But yeah, they can't do this. I mean, people are looking to grab cash all over the place. I mean, basically, I think anytime you go into this Budweiser Tavern, when you open the door, just go, money, 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 money.
That's what the Cubs are doing. So I was there last week. And
so tell us about your experience.
No, so I think it's interesting how there's different arguments here, right? So, and I still think that, I will go on the record that all these stupid laws, especially the state laws about the 3-tier system that came up after Prohibition, are terrible. They're actually designed to keep these businesses down, especially small artisanal breweries or
like Phil's Coffee.
Yeah, like Phil's Coffee, Dark Matter, Half Acre,
or like the cups.
Pipe Work, like the cups. So there's different things here. There's different things here to argue. Now about the back, there's a great book called American Faro about the first King Richard Daley, and this would happen.
Did you say faro or faro?
Faro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Faro is a grain that you
sorry.
eat.
This is the Cuban in him.
So I think what the hurricanes got me. Never mind. So I think what's happening here is what's happened in the history of this city. Backroom deals happen. Somebody's getting money from somewhere. Hey, you vote for me now, I'll vote for you later. And the Budweiser marquee came on because it really was called the Brickhouse Tavern.
Yeah.
After Jim Jack Brickhouse,
the most famous Cubs announcer.
And
ever.
he does have a statue. I don't know.
Yes,
he does have a statue, not at Wrigley Field.
Only because, by the way, people were upset that Harry was going to get one. But
it's maybe the Cubs episode, fall episode.
Barton.
But again, I don't think this guy, the alderman, could have done anything because he was just
exhausted.
He was exhausted carrying the cash. If you look at his campaign contributions, they're pretty high for being an not off year. $126,000. Q4 2016. I didn't have time to look at every single one there, but somebody should. There's a lot of information there to check out. A lot of transactions. Again, the Cubs are in it to make money. Corporation are not people. I believe that Brickhouse Tavern is in Wrigley. Might not be inside Wrigley, but in the spirit of the law, I believe it's inside Wrigley. I don't know, and I don't agree or disagree that we're going to have Budweiser, Heineken, things everywhere. I don't know. I don't need protection. I don't need protection.
Wow, we got a free market golf over
Yeah.
here.
You buy Apple, don't you need protection?
I don't need protection for my alcohol, so I don't see any protests. I've seen more protests for the Taco Bell than for this.
Well, first of all, that's because all of the bros in Wrigley want the Budweiser name.
So, I mean, the issue is something shady happened here. What happened? We won't know until 50 years. That somebody writes a book about this.
So, my quick question, though, you said that the Prohibition-era laws are meant to keep small businesses down. So, do you think Dark Matter wants to be, owned by, Starbucks and be branded with Starbucks?
No,
mom and pop shops don't want to be named after major corporations.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But a lot of these distribution laws and cross-state, alcohol distribution and disc advertising and naming rights are just things that maybe back in the day when your media was, Morse code and there was actually fireside chats from our president, maybe they matter. It's the 21st century. These laws need to go.
We have fireside tweets and to boot, do you not like Obamacare? Do you want to do this whole free market
No.
Insurance can just cross over borders and all this kind of stuff?
I don't know what we're arguing. What could have this guy done? Stand up and say, vote no.
He could have called him out and said, hey, there's just a backroom deal cut. But he's too busy getting the backroom deals cut.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I think
he's got his cash in his pocket.
I looked at the S1 this morning. I'm not making that number
You should
up.
have looked at the S2, the S3, and the S4.
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to go back to something here. So, we're a very ethnically diverse panel here.
Yeah, 2 Spanish people and a white dude.
Allegedly.
Canadian.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry.
But I really have to take issue with your use of the English language because you said that the Budweiser Brickhouse Tavern is not inside Wrigley; it's in Wrigley, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
I think if we were going to look at if we were going to pull the maps out and the blueprints, there's a stadium. And that triangle that made into a park belongs to Wrigley Field.
No,
I don't care.
No, it does not belong to Wrigley Field.
Care.
It is owned. Shareholders, remember, it's owned by a corporation.
Yeah.
The corporation is not Wrigley Field. The corporation may own Wrigley Field and the Triangle property, but the Wrigley Field does not own the Triangle property. I'm sorry. That's just if I went and asked 100 bros, if I asked 100 bros in Wrigley Field, kind of like
man on the street.
Yeah, man on the street. If I asked 100 bros, is the Budweiser Brickhouse Tavern within Wrigley Field or outside of Wrigley Field? I'm pretty sure I'd get 101. It's outside.
Yeah, but then you ask him, well, I'm at Wrigley Field. Then I'm going to tell you I'm at the Brickhouse Tavern or Lucky
They
Door.
absolutely
Oh,
would.
yes.
Because if I told someone I was at Wrigley Field and they came in there and they were trying to get into the stadium and then like, no, I'm actually at the Brickhouse down the block, they'd be like,
Well,
well,
it's not
you're
down
a jerk.
the block. It's right. It's attached
But
to the stadium.
by that
Depends on
argument-
what gate you're going into.
But
Okay,
by
so-
that argument, the Taco Bell is in Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
no, that's-
Because it's across the street
it's
and
not
it's owned
even
by the
attached.
Wrigleys.
It's not even attached.
What?
This isn't technically attached either. It's a separate building. It's not attached to the field.
All right.
Can you walk from the Brickhouse Tavern to Wrigley Field, inside Wrigley Field,
Without a ticket.
crossing the street?
Without a ticket.
Yeah, without a ticket?
No, you can't.
Aha.
You can't.
This isn't like Fenway Park where they actually extended the wall of the stadium with the metal detectors and security and everything. So to get onto that Yawkey Way, you have to have a ticket.
Yeah, and same
that
thing in
I
the
would
park.
say.
On game days, you need a ticket, not to be at the Brickhouse.
Yeah, but
to be
we're
at
talking about the
park.
Brick
Yeah, we're
House
talking about the
Tavern.
Brickhouse. We're not
Either
talking about
way,
the park.
what's the argument we're trying to make?
I think
All
we've,
right.
both, we've
That
all
this is
made the right
bad?
argument.
That this is bad for the kids?
I think it's terrible for the kids.
I mean, what's going to happen in the future when Heineken wants something? We'll see.
We'll give it to them because they're a great corporation that deserves our trust and support.
We'll see.
All right, closing question. What would be a more appropriate sponsorship brand for the new Brickhouse Tavern? Because basically,
Yeah.
Budweiser we're getting rid of.
Yeah.
Extra credit goes if you can sing an original jingle with your new brand sponsor's name and Brickhouse Tavern in it.
Yeah. I got mine.
Are you ready there?
Oh, I'm for sure ready.
Vince Lombardi?
Sponsored by aspirin. Right? And the jingle...
The aspirin
It's the
Brickhouse
aspirin Brickhouse.
Tavern? Okay.
Yeah. And it would be, when you drink too much and can't go in, drink lots of water and take aspirin.
That's pretty good.
Yeah? See?
Did you see that on YouTube from
No,
like the 1950s?
no, but I know that's like a 1950s jingle. I just sort of plugged
I don't
in.
think aspirin is a brand.
And
I
you
just
don't-
wanna say-
Aspirin? No,
It is.
It is a brand.
It is?
Yeah.
It ran into the problem that they'd never protected it strongly
yeah.
enough, and it became a generic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It still is technically a brand.
Maybe when I talk here about the person, my sponsor should be Jules Osco should be the sponsor of the Brickhouse. That way, I can stop there since the Taco Bell is gone.
It's not gone yet, all right? Don't sacrifice
they're
that.
taking down the Clark City Sports down the street on Clark, so I can get my tchotchkes. I don't think there's a CVS in the vicinity of Wrigley. You can do one-stop shopping at Jewel. Get your aspirin, your Motrin that I prefer to take, Coke Zero, water, peanuts taken to the stadium.
Wait,
So-
do you think that just because they're sponsoring it, that you're going to be able to actually, they're going to convert it to a grocery store?
Yeah, why not? It'd be synergy. It'd be great to have a little.
Have
little
you been
corner-
inside that place? That place is tiny. You're not going to be able to put
It
it
has a second floor.
So that'll be the grocery store.
That'd be part of a grocery store. I don't have a jingle.
And you said you prepared.
Sorry, Jewel's not.
All right. Well, since Budweiser is one of the worst brands in America, not necessarily popular. I know you drink it a lot, but it's one of the worst brands in America because, and it's a fan favorite of college grads who have no taste.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, trying to think about what would be an appropriate, brand that could take over that spot.
Are you going to say Dave Matthews Band?
Well,
Close enough.
the only appropriate brand with an equally crappy musical brand, and that would be the Jimmy Buffett's Brickhouse Tavern.
Oh, come
It's
on,
not
man.
it's not an alcohol, right? It's not Margaritaville. It's Jimmy Buffett's Budweiser Tavern, Brickhouse Tavern. Sorry, you Buffett fan?
It's a low blow.
Yeah, well,
Jimmy Buffett's music is not that bad.